Thanks for tuning in to 2K Sports' presentation of the NBA. I'm Damon Bruce. Friday Hoops Fest coming up next. It'll be Steve Nash and the Phoenix Suns facing off against Al Jefferson and the Utah Jazz. Let's head on out to Salt Lake City, joining Kevin Harlan and the crew for tip-off.
And thanks for tuning in to the NBA on 2K Sports. Hope you're enjoying your Friday afternoon. This is Kevin Harlan. With Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr, Doris Burke will be reporting from the sideline. We're at the Energy Solutions Arena. Utah fans are cheering for their Jazz. So the opening lineup for the Suns. Hill at the 3 with Stoudemire at the 4. Nash at the 1 with Vince Carter at the 2. And it's Gortat in at the 5 spot. And for Utah, Kirilenko, Millsap, and Jefferson are the front court. Devin Harris is out there with Bell.
Well, the Western Conference has proved to be too much for the Jazz to handle effectively last season.
Millsap kicks to Bell. Backing down is Jefferson. Just 5 to shoot. Unload from 9. On defense, Utah. Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Kevin, I was able to speak with Alvin Gentry for just a moment. He told me that to him, the most impressive thing about his team has been their mistake-free play offensively, saying, we're not doing a lot wrong when we've got the ball in our hands, and we need to keep that frame of mind going. Guys?
Doris, thanks. Guys, shooting is a chief concern for them.
You know, could be this coaching staff has seen something they haven't really liked in regard to shooting, maybe a poor week of practice, perhaps.
Well, they can't really think before a game about whether the shots are going to go in or not. I mean, it's all about playing hard and trying to get good shots and then building your confidence from there.
Clark going back to the Jazz in the West. Losing an elite guard like Williams did not help. Now, Stevie's going to make a difference for New Jersey, but I think that's going to be a huge void for Utah. What do you think?
No question. This league is all about point guards, Kevin. And to try to win in the Western Conference against guys like Steve Nash and Chris Paul, it's going to be tough for the Jazz. In fact, 31 of their 43 losses last year came against Western Conference foes.
So for the Suns, Childress comes in for Grant Hill, and Dudley subbed in for Vince Carter.
Jefferson couldn't quite get his numbers back to the career highs he had in 09, but he came close, and I thought he turned in a really strong year.
Now, here's Fry, taken away by Kirilenko.
That's just a horrible decision. You got to be more patient with the ball.
Millsap passes to Kirilenko. Harris dishes to Kirilenko. And good coming on the assist from Devin Harris. Kirilenko's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. Clark, to back up what you said on those numbers from Jefferson, 18.6 points and about 10 rebounds a game. Steve, not too shabby, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty good numbers for a center. I'll take that any day. And, you know, you just hope that Minnesota can parlay that production from Al Jefferson and Kevin Love and some of those young players. You hope they can parlay that into a more productive season as a team.
Oh, no, he may have gotten injured right there. He's in a lot of pain.
Man, first look, I don't know, guys. Tough to tell just how bad it is.
For his sake, we're hoping he's okay.
From deep, Brooks gets it to go.
Well, they really look to run immediately after that turnover.
Well, that's how you cash in. You don't want to waste any time after the turnover. Go at it right away.
Easy shot. Rebounded by the Jazz. And here's Bell. Knocked away. Harris against Brooks. Here is Bell. Shot clock at 5. The Jazz need to get off a shot here. And it's blocked. And there's the shot clock violation. Couldn't get the shot off in time. A different look for Utah. Gordon Hayward's checked in for Kirilenko. And it's C.J. Miles in for Raja Bell.
Well, prior to last season, the Suns decided to let Amari Stoudemire leave for free agency. They were concerned that with all of his injuries, they just couldn't justify giving him a long-term big deal.
Guys, you're not going to get away with that kind of defense when he's got the ball. I mean, got to do better than that.
Harris against Brooks. Now Miles. Jefferson, a screen on Dudley. Will it go? And the basket by Harris. Harris has got his first basket. Well, Steve, that's what, I'm sure you'd agree, that's what makes this Sun story so interesting. They let Amari go to the Knicks, but then they turned around with a completely different front office and spent almost as much on Channing Frye, Josh Childress, and Clark Hakeem Ward. It seemed at times a little confusing.
Yeah, baffling would be another word to use there. I mean, historically, Kevin, those mid-level deals for average players can be just as risky. So some interesting choices by the Suns' top brass, and we'll see how they pan out. You need to give them a little time, but that usually takes a little longer than you want it to.
Catching up on the changes for Phoenix. Lopez comes in for Gortat, and it's Warwick in for Channing. And that one's good. Millsap.
Looked like they found the soft spot in the defense there.
Brooks kicks to Lopez. He's picked up by Millsap. Throws it down as the official calls the foul. It may be a three-point play. Paul Millsap picks one up.
Well, a lot of storylines in Utah last season. Jerry Sloan finally stepping down as coach, and then that was followed by a blockbuster trade sending Darren Williams to New Jersey. A lot of new faces in Salt Lake.
Looking at who's out there now for the Jazz. Favors comes in for Al Jefferson. And Earl Watson is subbed in for Devin Harris. Watson with it. Brooks covering. Watson with it. Lets it go from the wing. And Utah again with the bucket. Back to that trade that Steve was talking about for Utah. It caught me off guard. I'm sure it caught you off guard as well.
No question about it, Kevin. I mean, nobody really saw it coming. It just seemed like it was time to start over, and they got right back to work, and now in a bit of a rebuilding mode, if you will. Another open look, hits bottom from outside.
Yeah, and that's 3 of their last 5 makes from beyond the arc.
There's 25 seconds left in the first quarter. Inside to Favors. The layup missed. Here comes Aaron Brooks. For 3. Another 3 for Phoenix.
Great start here early on, but they've got to continue to play well to maintain that lead.
Boy, I tell you what, really nice start for him here, guys. Getting after both ends of the floor, you got it like that.
And a double-digit lead on the scoreboard as we end the first quarter of play. Suns lead by 10.
Boy, a ton of
Welcome back, everyone. A lopsided first quarter in the books already as we start the second quarter. Jazz trail by 10, so with Nash sitting on the bench. Here's who Alvin Gentry's going with. Hakeem Warwick and Robin Lopez in the middle. Jared Dudley out there with Brooks. And it's Carter in at the 3 spot. Here's Miles. Hits the 15-footer. Miles has got the second quarter going with the first basket of the period for the Jazz. Now let's send it to Doris from the sideline.
Well, guys, with the Phoenix Suns losing ground in the West, some expected the Suns to trade Steve Nash and rebuild. But Alvin Gentry said, I see the level he's playing at, and I don't know why we would trade him. I don't see why you would want to bottom out and spend the next 5 years trying to get good again. Nash said, I'm committed to doing my job. I'm committed to this franchise and the fans. Maybe I'm old school, but I signed a contract to play here, and I want to honor it. Guys, we'll see. If they can turn it around.
It'll be interesting to see. Thanks, Doris.
Yeah, they're in a tough spot. I mean, they want to keep Nash around. He's the face of the franchise. But, you know, they're really stuck in that middle, that no man's land, where they're just good enough to maybe make the playoffs, but not bad enough to get a really high draft pick.
Now it appears an injury out on the floor, and that does not look like any fun.
Now, let's just hope it's a bump or a bruise and that he's back out on the floor soon.
You know, Steve, just one of those things. It does happen in the course of battle. We'll see.
Watson, the pass to Bell. From 17 feet out. Strong with the shot, but it bounces off and falls. Bell's got his first bucket in this one.
Well, the Suns only won 23 games against Western Conference opponents last year, and that's one of the reasons they really fell from contention in terms of their postseason hopes a year ago.
Brooks dishes to Dudley. Defended by Bell. 6 on the shot clock. Tries to keep it alive. Out of bounds. They'll keep possession. For the Jazz, Paul Millsap's checked in for Jefferson. Karolinko comes in for C.J. Miles. Devin Harris subbed in for Earl Watson. Here's Brooks. Shot from the inbound. Whoops, there's the 24-second shot clock violation, so they'll turn it over. Jazz trail by 8. Harris kicks to Bell. And the pass to Karolinko. Hill's there. Here's Millsap, and Utah again with the bucket. Well, you know, for the Suns, Clark, why do you think they struggled so much against the West?
Well, I think part of it was they weren't getting enough done inside, and in the West, that'll cost you. I mean, we've talked about it before, Kevin, how big the front lines are in the Western Conference in general. I mean, you look at it rebounding. 10 out of the top 15 rebounding teams last season were in the Western Conference. I mean, points in the paint, 11 of the top 15 were Western Conference teams. I mean, you've got to be able to handle your business inside in the West. If you don't, it's going to be hard to win. What a marvelous job they've done of sharing the basketball. A ton of assists.
Well, they know where each other is all the time. They're moving the ball, just finding the open guy. Nobody seems to care who scores.
Harris, Brooks covering. Harris passes to Millsap. 6 to shoot. Aja Bell on the wing. Lifts up. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up.
Well, it was a tough season a year ago for Utah, and you know, one of their hallmarks in their history of their franchise has been their ability to dominate their home floor. That wasn't the case a year ago. They played 500 ball at Energy Solutions Arena.
Al Jefferson is checked in for Utah. C.J. Miles comes in for Paul Millsap. And then for Phoenix, Bertans checked in for Lopez. Fry comes in for Hakeem Warrick. And it's Xavier Dowdell in for Aaron Brooks. He was talking about the Utah Jazz and playing up in Salt Lake City in a very loud arena. And I always thought that some players would get overwhelmed in certain arenas because of the noise and the emotion. That was one of the buildings.
Yeah, that was really good. I mean, good building because the fans come out in big numbers and are ready to get behind and support that Utah Jazz team.
A moment for the Gatorade injury report. We've got a chance to check up on Vince Carter's status with our Doris Burke.
Well, Kevin, I got some news from the Suns' head athletic trainer, Aaron Nelson. He told me that he's in a great deal of pain after suffering a lower back strain. He won't be able to return to the game, and most likely he will need several games after that to get back to full strength.
Good stuff, Doris. Thanks, Clark. It's got to be a tough time for him.
Yeah, Kevin, you wish they weren't, but injuries are really a part of the game, and sooner or later, just about everybody has to deal with them in some form or fashion.
Well, hopefully we'll get some good news next time we have an update on it.
From the sideline, let's catch up with Doris Burke.
Well, Kevin, as you know, the Utah Jazz are in a rare rebuilding stage. This has been one of the most consistently successful franchises in the entire NBA. But perhaps they lucked out, and their growth will be accelerated as they landed the #3 pick in the draft. They also have a top 12 pick. So this infusion of youth should have the Jazz back up and running in a short period of time. Kevin, back to you.
Thank you, Doris. A lot of new faces in Utah these days.
Well, I admire the job Kevin O'Connor did, guys, because he's infused this young Jazz team with talent. And he knew he had to. He couldn't afford to lose Darren Williams and get nothing in return. So he made the best of the situation, and now they've got a lot of good, young, talented players on this roster.
Harris, and he converts the layup. Harris has got 6 points.
Such an aggressive player. I just love the way he explodes to the rim. What a great job playing the passing lane.
Offensive rebound.
He thought he made that one.
He sure did. I mean, it was an excellent look. It just didn't go down.
And Dudley kicks the fry. Latrey, another 3 for Phoenix.
Wow, what a combination. A big man who can shoot from long range.
Now here is Harris. He has 6. The top of the key jumper is on the mark. Harris has got 6 in the quarter.
Well, they've got to do something defensively because he's been unstoppable.
And defensively, Steve, your only choice now is to double him. I mean, I don't think there's another option.
Well, the only way to stop him is to keep him from getting the ball in the first place.
Open look. That's good. Harris has got 10 points in the game.
What a streak he's on. He's just one of those guys who can really catch fire.
Fades away. He just barely beat the buzzer.
Unflappable. Wasn't rattled at all. I mean, he's the kind of guy you want taking those shots.
Yep, I agree with that. Pressure mounting, the crowd counting it down, and bang, he drains it.
And so we conclude the first half. It's the NBA on 2K Sports from Energy Solutions Arena in Salt Lake City.
It looks like we made it to another Friday. Time now for the halftime breakdown presented by HP. For the Phoenix Suns, they have the lead against Utah. I don't think you see field goal percentages this high in layup lines. They've been simply outstanding tonight. Aaron Brooks has been the X factor. He's got 9 points and also sharing it around with a few assists. And the Jazz, they're putting up a fight. They've taken full advantage of that charity stripe. Those free throws, they add up. Devin Harris has been clicking through the first 2. How's that for a shooting percentage? 100. Yes, 100% from the court. Not too bad.
And as we begin the second half, first half wasn't even close, guys, and we'll see if there is a comeback on our hands or more of the same as we get the third quarter started. Jazz trail by 12.
Well, last season, the Suns' road record dipped well below 500, 17-24. That's one of the reasons they were on the outside looking in when it came to playoff time.
Kirilenko, Millsap, and Jefferson. Are the front court. Devin Harris is out there with Bell. That's the 5 on the floor for the Jazz. Harris kicks to Bell. Harris a screen on Dudley. Kicks to Millsap. Working on Fry. Here's Kirilenko. Connects from three-point range. Kirilenko's got 6. Steve, that's your old team, the Suns. They could put on a show, certainly. They always have with Nash. But Clark, they couldn't get enough wins on the road, 17 and 24, as Steve just said.
Yeah, well, that may have been part of it, too. I mean, those high-scoring games tend to get the crowd engaged, and that gives the home team life. I mean, when you're an up-and-down team, you're giving the other team possessions as well. And when you're not really strong defensively, then that creates opportunities to not be able to finish games or close out opponents. And I think the Suns struggled at the defensive end of the floor at times.
Second chance shot, and there's Al Jefferson on the assist by Harris. 6 points for Al Jefferson. And here's Fry from the arc. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Brooks.
You know, guys, he's always looking for that open three. I mean, that's his strength, and sometimes the best time to get the three is in transition.
And Al Jefferson did not get off to a great start for Utah following that trade from Minnesota last offseason, but as the season went on, he really picked it up, and he finished strong.
And making a change here, the Jazz. Miles is checked in, and then for Phoenix. Warwick comes in for Grant Hill, and it's Childress in for Jared Dudley. Pushes up, and there's Millsap. That's good on the assist by Jefferson. 6 points for Millsap. Yeah, going back to Jefferson, as Steve was just talking about, when Clark 2011 came around, it seemed to me at least he was a whole different player.
Yeah, he really was. I mean, when he's healthy, he's a guy, and he's growing. You know, with young, big guys, you've got to give them time, Kevin, and people oftentimes expect too much too soon. A big guy takes probably 4 to 6 years to develop into who he's going to be as an NBA player, and Jefferson right on that trajectory now.
Yeah, and down the stretch, he was terrific.
Yeah, he was outstanding. I mean, he's a force down low.
Jazz ball. Here is Miles. Defended by Childress. And Miles kicks to Harris. Guarded now by Aaron Brooks. This one for 3, but they'll get another chance. Puts up the baby hook. That's good from Jefferson, and the assist by Paul Millsap. 8 points for Al Jefferson. Brooks outside. Guarded by Harris. Shoots from 12, and Brooks gets it to go. Brooks has got 11 points. Goes up from the top of the key. Again, the Jazz score.
He's gotten himself involved in just about every aspect of this game.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic all-around performance, guys.
Well, the Suns missed out on the playoffs for only the 4th time in the last 23 years last season. And with the team getting older and no outstanding young players, it may be a while before Phoenix returns to prominence.
Looking at who's out there now for the Jazz. Raja Bell is checked in for Kirilenko. And Earl Watson is subbed in for Devin Harris. And Phoenix with a change here, too. Dowdell's checked in. And, you know, for the Suns, Clark, what do you think is their best path for them right now? Could they bounce back? And he flushes it through. Strike Sandstrom with the replay.
Now, that's just rubbing it in, fella.
Throwing it down with style.
These folks are not going to forget that one anytime soon.
Here's Dowdell. 10 points for him. His first shot coming late, and the Suns tack on 2 more. Jazz trail by 12. Rob, and here we go. Slams it on the run.
Well, that's great. You take advantage of that turnover and convert at the other end.
Absolutely. I mean, points off turnovers this time generated off the steal.
Here is Watson. 1:15 left in the third quarter.
And it's so hard to take over a coaching position from a legend, but that is exactly what Tyrone Corbin was charged with last season. I mean, he has a lot of experience from his playing days and being an assistant coach, so it'll be interesting to see how he directs the Jazz in a full season.
Suns leading by 14. It's stolen by Jefferson. The baseline jam. And it's Phoenix with the rebound. Good point, Clark, on Corbin. Steve, hard to get a read on what he inherited last year.
Yeah, and I think this year will be his first real test. I mean, he'll have a training camp to work with. It'll be his team. And the Jazz have some weapons, but after missing the playoffs last year, they'll have an uphill battle.
You can see that they're not as aggressive from the three-point arc. They had far more attempts in the first half.
They're just trying to get out and out. Run their opponent. That's exactly what's happening.
And I like the way the game plan is working quite nicely right now. I mean, they're running right by him and racking up a bunch of fast break points.
Bell dishes to Jefferson. They're moving it around.
Well, I tell you what, it was too congested in there to make that pass.
It's tipped. And here's the fast break. And here's Watson. Dishes to Jefferson. He dishes it to Watson. Wide open. And it comes up a bit short.
That's a tough one there because he's wide open. That's a shot he expects to make.
Well, through 3/4 of play, down double digits, it may be difficult to overcome. Back soon here in Utah. As the fourth quarter gets going, let's swing it over to Doris Burke, who has our Sprite Spark report. Doris?
Well, for the Suns, their spark has been the exceptional performance from their point guard off the bench. With the way he's played off the bench, coach might be looking for ways to get this guy more minutes or even into the starting lineup going forward, guys.
Thank you, Doris. He sure did stir things up for him.
Boy, he was an injection of a different kind of energy out there. Got him going in the right direction and really gave him something the starters weren't able to give him.
Well, give him credit. I mean, he was just waiting for his chance, and he took full advantage.
So with Nash sitting on the bench, here's who Alvin Gentry's going. Hill out there with Jared Dudley. Then it's Brooks, and there's Robin Lopez, and it's Beatrice in at the two-guard spot. Here is Bell. Here is Harris. Rocket six. Guarded now by Aaron Brooks. Harris kicks to Kirilenko. Offline with his three.
And that's the way it's been. A big margin for them in the rebounding category.
You know, sometimes you got to get down and dirty and do the dirty work. And in this one, they've done it, and it's paid off on the scoreboard in a big way. He got that one, but he hasn't been producing the way we're accustomed to. He needs to look for a shot a bit more.
Here's Brooks. Great positioning on the putback. And the Suns lead by 18. And we've got an injury on the floor. Very unfortunate as always. Guys don't like to see this.
Boy, what a tough break. I hope he doesn't have to miss too much of the action.
But we'll find out in a little bit. Man, let's just hope he's okay.
Earl Watson's checked in for Devin Harris. Hakeem Moore, he's checked in for the Suns. Fabian Dowdell comes in for Jared Dudley. Watson's a pass to Fabian. He goes up. And the basket by Curlin.
Well done finishing that one.
Suns lead by 16. Here's Warren. And it's good on the way.
Oh, he got the D that time. Nice.
Here is Watson. Guarded down by Rose. Utah calls timeout.
It's really weird, guys, to not see the Jazz in the postseason as they've found their way in so consistently over the last 20 years.
Here is Hill. Phoenix grabs the miss. Regis has got 3 rebounds so far in the game. Like that Jazz, they came close, but too much on championship. I think I have watched Watkins since the season.
Yeah, I agree, and they're in a rebuilding mode now, but you can't count the Jazz out of the playoff picture for long, not with their history. They've been one of the strongest franchises in the NBA.
And then it's good.
Look at their scoring. Mid-range jumpers account for 6 of their last 10 points.
Well, defensively, they're doing a nice job keeping them out of the paint, but you gotta give credit for their 9-down shots.
Get the shot. And the Suns just got 2 more.
Great shot. I mean, so difficult to get your shot on line when you're out of balance like that.
Now he's coming slowly. Over the pass. And then the third connection. Another shot. And so he draws the foul. Shot. 3 for 1. That's no good. I'll do one for you, Utah. Never touchdown to Gordon Hayward. And TJ Miles and Rajon Bell. Phoenix also making changes. Georgia got 10 for 1. Fry comes in for like Michael pieces. And it's Hill and Franklin Brooks. I'm on the Gatorade and then there's got the big chorus on Devin Harris.
He is officially through this night and possibly a long time to come. But wait and see.
Next week's guy, the only thing he is that prognosis is not as bad as they making it up.
Yeah, Kevin, I don't know one way or another. It seems to me as though it's going to be a long time if we see him back in Utah.
That's such a shame because you always be here. But then he played a game here, and then this one, it's not so good.
They're trailing by 23. There's 154 left on the final quarter. Here's Utah's going right now. Hillsell comes in for Jerry Favors. And SL and TJ Miles. Phoenix also making some changes. Hakeem Moore, he's checked in for Georgia. Chelsea comes in for Jalen Fry. And Fisher subbed in for Devin.
It's great shooting from him, and they got to lean on him a little bit more.
They're running in no time at all.
And this one's pretty much wrapped up.
And they know it. I mean, took care of business. Chalk it up as a W, Steve.
Watson dishes to Jefferson. Hillsell's that left side. And blocked.
This is why they have a big lead. The rebounding has been dominant.
You know, we don't got any plus rebound. I don't think it tells the whole story. I mean, they've been more physical team from the outset. That's been the difference. Been physicality.
Here it is now. Now Childress, he feeds it downhill. Launches it. That's good.
cover to cover with all the time he was given on that three. My goodness, come on, play some D.
Could have read a book, could have played a video game, could have mowed the lawn. I mean, come on, defense, play.
The first one falls. That's also good. So let's play free throws. Here's the Suns with the ball. He's covered by Watson. Shot from the wing. Again, Phoenix.
I think that may do it here. They're trying to put the nail in the coffin.
Well, just adding to the lead if we don't approach the final buzzer.
Yep, it's good.
Strong move against a much bigger defender.
Yeah, he's definitely getting up a few inches all right, Steve, but didn't seem to bother him.
Now here's Petrus, defended by Bell. From the wing, can't get it to go. And Utah the other way.
Yeah, it looks like this one's out of reach.
Yep, just a matter of the clock running out now.
Childress gets the reach-in call. That's his first foul of the game, and the bonus will go to the free throw line. He's off on the first, but the Suns making a switch here. Good on the second free throw. And Phoenix has possession. Dowdell kicks to Gortat. Oh, missed it. And here's Bell. Open look. So it's the Suns winning easily here. Some days, Clark, everything goes right for a team, and they just had one of those games.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, these guys played a great all-around basketball game here.
Thanks for joining us for this presentation of NBA basketball on 2K Sports. For Doris Burke, Steve Kerr, and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan saying see you next time. But first, let's check out the Jordan player of the game.